We did research online and looked for the best options that we thought were going to work best for her.
Read a lot on the website, and the website was pretty informative, and showed a lot of good things about the place.
Yeah. Well, there were quite a few different things that had taken place, over the years, behavioral issues, drugs, addiction, and then the last straw that broke the camel's back was her trying to commit suicide and not want to be in this world for her family, or for herself.
For herself and her family.
And for her family.
The admissions team was really good, to be honest with you. It was nice to sit down and actually talk with Crystal, and it got a lot of my feelings out on the whole situation, because she was there kind of doing therapy on me when I admitted my daughter, and that was kind of nice, and it kind of made me feel like I made the right decision to come here, because it showed that they actually care about what's happening.
Well, and even Polly, I think the one time that I had to speak with Polly, the initial intake, very helpful, very informative. She did a good job on explaining the program and what what we should expect, both through the therapy, through the intake processes, and actually it was a nice transition.
And it really was.
Yeah.
The hotel being picked up, or not the hotel, the being picked up from the airport, and just not having to worry about it, just getting down here, and then everything else was kind of taken care of from there. It was pretty important, and such a traumatic type of entry like we had. So.
Please let it work. We think we were more hopeful that somebody would be able to get through to her, because obviously we weren't able to do it. We were not successful with our methods, and that was more of a concern that she was going to get something out of the program and bring it home with her.
My first thought was, unfortunately, a kind of a negative one. I wasn't sure that anybody was going to be able to help. I thought it was going to be too far gone, or not be able to do the right things, or just, I was completely scared when this first happened, so the thoughts even came into my head as well, all they're going to do is just pump her full of all kinds of drugs and kick her out the door and send her back home, and try to make it, you don't like to think this way, but I do, it's kind of a money scheme, get a bunch of money real quick, get the kid out the door, and you're back at home, and then you're looking for another, program like this again in another 60 days or 30 days. So that was kind of my first thoughts about the whole situation. I don't know if that's what you wanted to hear, but that's exactly what I was thinking.
It was hope. It was. I think at that point we were just really.
Yeah, there was some hope. I hate to be completely negative, but
we had really lost a lot of faith in what the system, because she had been through therapy in different scenarios before, and it was more of that. Yeah, we were fearful that it wasn't gonna work.
Okay.
The feedback from Aubrey is that it's awesome. She absolutely enjoys going to the group. She enjoys being able to, learn different options, things to be able to help herself, help other people. Through her story, it's always she's able to get through to somebody. So we've always gotten positive feedback, even from her clinician, from her case manager, that she's done well, and that just that she's done well. She's done leaps and bounds in comparison to where she was at one point.
Absolutely.
So
whatever you guys are doing, you did good. And I think a lot of that has to do with kind of the what would it be, the not risk and reward, but you do good, you get rewarded with things. So it kind of shows, at least our daughter, it showed her that, hey, what, if I'm good, there's good things out there for me if I do that. And I think that's the path that we were trying to do, and we were a little unsuccessful, but you guys really have, and the groups were awesome.
At first, we were a little resistant to family therapy because we didn't want the fingers pointed at us. The hardest thing, I think, that initially was if we're going to get beat up, we're not doing it. Because this program was to help Aubrey with different ways of coping.
We don't have no problems. Parents don't have any problems. I mean, it's all the kids' fault. It's never the parents' fault.
Not that we had no. It wasn't our problems how they were molded. It was all going to be the child, and I think we were resistant to that initially. But after our first beating, it was
awesome.
nice.
It was great.
It really opened up.
It was great to be able to sit down and be able to talk with somebody and have kind of a mediator that you can have with your kids, so they can tell their side of the story and you can tell your side of the story, and there may be some conflict, there may be some bad times, but in the end result, everything works out.
It was her safe haven to have somebody as her advocate, and then when we get off the phone after dealing with it, we were always what just happened, Did that really did we just get in trouble again?
Yeah.
That's what usually.
But that changed at the end, what I mean?
Last couple of weeks.
Changed. It turned into more of a support for us too, So.
Yeah. Our clinician, or Aubrey's clinician, through all of this, one-on-one with us as well as the family therapy. I mean, we've had a therapist ourselves since day one, and it's been fantastic.
We were at the end. I mean, our daughter tried to kill herself. She was gone, if she wouldn't have made a phone call, she wouldn't be here right now, I mean, it's the most beneficial. I mean, there is nothing more than what we got right now. I mean, it's life-saving, I don't know if there's any
to be able to get her into a program that was going to be able to help get her out of that bad place. I mean, we didn't know what to do, and if it hadn't been for Sovereign, if we hadn't seen that be the first one that came up, we wouldn't be here. Aubrey wouldn't be here.
And that's the thing. I mean, we live what, 2,000 miles away, probably. We're from North Idaho, and here we are in San Diego, California, and who would have ever thought it? It's awesome. It's cool that a program like this is even around. So. Yes.
We've always had pretty good boundaries. We know, the space, and we understand that. Hopefully, our not concern, one good word choice, is that she's learned healthy boundaries. We know as parents, I mean, we're the parents, so that we have to sit back. We're hopeful for her more, so we know what our boundaries and what our limits are. We're hoping that she understands her boundaries and her limits. We're hopeful.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely hopeful.
Definitely hopeful.
Don't change ways. I think we're still going to stick with our same beliefs.
The same structure is going to be there.
Same structure, but I think that
it's not going to be so much of a. I mean, we're really not going to change the way that we raise our daughter. We're just it's. They talked a lot about approach and the way that we approached her, and we need to work on that, obviously. I mean, because we weren't approaching her that well. I mean, you can still be direct and stern without being a complete jerk,
Without being angry about it.
Yeah, we're angry. So, I mean, we definitely are ready. And I think it's a great thing. accepting responsibility.
Accepting responsibility, and we haven't really seen her. We've only, through therapy talked to her. We have never done a video conference, so for us, we haven't actually seen body language, the end result. We hear how wonderful she's doing, but we've yet to actually grab her. But the taking responsibility is probably one of the biggest that we've seen so
Absolutely.
far.
And her just her attitude and seems like her, they talked about self-worth in there, and how she just feels better. You can tell on the phone how she feels better and acts better, and it's
That's important.
it's
for us.
very important.
I think that they, on more levels than one, I don't.
It's all right. Go ahead. They were fantastic with us. They worked with us every step of the way. When we had questions, we'd call. They're awesome. It has been.
I don't think they'll ever quite understand.
How important they really were to our lives. We came in pretty late, so I really didn't get to the full meal deal tour. Went through the kitchen, went through one of the houses, and the facilities are great. It seems all right. That's about all I can say on that one. All I can go is off of what Aubrey's told us, and she said it was really nice. She was bummed out that she can't cook dinner anymore, or can't cook breakfast in the house anymore, but anyways. Have faith.
Have faith. This is a fantastic team. They've done a wonderful job with ours, and I know that they would do a wonderful job with recovery for yours. It would be the best thing you could do for your loved one.
Absolutely. But you have to be able to commit to the program too. You have to be able to, as a parent, you have to be able to want that also, and it's not want.
The problem isn't just your kid. The problem lies within your home. It's not just your child's problem, it's your problem as well.
And if you come in with the attitude like you're not going to change for your kid, it's probably not going to work. Everything has to change. It's not just the kid, not just yourself. Everybody around has to do it.
Family.
It's a family. It's completely a family thing.